Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for installment of Scott Selections here for Wednesday, October 5th. For again, today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a nice winner in baseball with the Tigers' first five, team total over 1.5 runs at plus 105 on DraftKings. Bit of backstory there. In the video, we talked about why Marco Gonzalez would give up a couple of runs. The interesting part was that Gonzalez didn't pitch. They actually announced that Flexen was going to get the start. I tweeted out in the morning in response to the pitching change that I wasn't exactly expecting Flexen to pitch long. I thought he'd pitch probably an inning or two, and then Gonzalez would take over. That didn't happen. Flexen actually pitched a decent amount of innings, but I still like the play, and it ended up cashing. So we got a little bit lucky, even though Gonzalez didn't pitch. But Detroit ended up scoring three in the first five, and we ended up cashing the plus 105 bet. So a nice winner there. Look for another winner here on Wednesday. And for today's play today, going back to baseball, look at a game between the Cubs and the Reds, taking place at around 4 p.m. Eastern time. And for this matchup with the Cubs, first five money line at minus 128 on FanDuel. Time recording of 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. Couple reasons why I like the Cubs money line in the first five in this matchup. First reason, look at the recent form of both teams. I know both teams have been awful all season long, but Chicago's actually played well lately, while Cincinnati has not. The Cubs have won 11 of their last 14 games, while the Reds have lost 9 of their last 12. Meanwhile, look at the starting pitching matchup. You have a significant advantage over for Chicago. You have Sampson pitching, and his last five starts, he's been amazing. 31 innings pitched, 1.16 ERA. He's also faced off against the Reds 3 times this season, and he's been great in each of the 3 starts. 17 innings pitched, 2.12 ERA. I think he should pitch well in this matchup. Meanwhile, you have Ashcraft pitching for Cincinnati, and we faded him a couple of starts ago against Milwaukee. And my main reason for fading him against Milwaukee was because he was awful in the minors in his rehab starts, and they called him up anyway. And since he got called up, shocker, he's been awful against major league batters, because since returning from the IL, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 14 hits allowed, 12.15 ERA. He also just faced off against Chicago in his last outing, and he went less than 3 innings, and he gave up, I believe, 5 runs. So Chicago just torched him about a week ago, and Ashcraft really should not be pitching right now. I think he probably should have been shut down for the season since the minor league starts weren't going well. But Cincinnati threw him up anyway and said, let's see what happens. And he's been awful. But other than that, though, Ashcraft has faced off against the Cubs 3 times this season, and he's been awful in each of those 3 starts. 11 and 1/3 innings pitched, 11.91 ERA. But the Cubs have been in much better form lately. They have a much better starting pitcher on the mound, and Ashcraft has been awful since returning from the IL and against the Cubs all season long. I think the Cubs should probably have a lead after 5. Now, you could take the full game, or you could even take the Cubs' first 5 minus a half. But I like the push draw built into the first 5 money line, and I'm going to take the Cubs to have a bit of a lead there after 5, since they do have the much better starting pitchers. Play that once again here for Wednesday, October 5th, is going to be on the Cubs' first 5 money line at minus 128 on FanDuel. Bye, everyone.